back to another video. Today we'll be answering the question if you should or should not buy a phone with 5G in 2020. In order to answer this question, I'm going to be explaining the 5G networks that are currently out with the current US carriers, as well as 5G in general. So let's get started. 5G is the 5th generation mobile network. It uses higher frequency waves than 4G. 4G or LTE was released here in the United States back in 2010. This brought faster speeds as well as more stable connection. I had one of the earlier 4G phones that you could buy here with the Motorola Droid Razr. In my experience, I got a lot better speeds than my friends did with iPhones on the 3G network at the time. And using it in the major city by me was also really nice. So with this 5th generation mobile network, things are changing a little bit. From the time 4G was released, we're not getting as stable of connections as we did then. 5G is rolling out very slowly for many reasons that I'll explain. 5G promises theoretical speeds up to 10 gigabytes per second. That's extremely fast. However, not all 5G is equal. There's low band 5G, there's mid band 5G, and high band. So first, high band is also called millimeter wavelength. It's the ones promising the highest speeds, like the ones up to 10 gigabytes per second, and they use a wavelength range of 20 to 100 gigahertz. The problem with high band is the range. The range is said to have a distance of about 800 feet from the tower. That's not quite far, and it can be obstructed by certain things like buildings a lot easier due to the length of the wave. This means that we need to set up more towers and nodes in order to increase the range. That costs a lot of money and will take a lot of time. Verizon has been one of the companies who has been pushing for millimeter wavelength to get these highest speeds, and they are releasing it to more cities currently. Now, mid-band 5G has a 2 to 10 gigahertz wavelength range. Your Wi-Fi at home often runs on either a 2.4 gigahertz network or a 5 gigahertz network. So with this, you can still get incredible speeds up to 1 gigabyte per second on mid-band. Although it's not nearly as fast as the theoretical speeds of high band or millimeter wavelength, the range is a lot better. It's said to have a range about a half a mile rather than the 800 feet. So that's over 3 times the range of millimeter wavelength. Sprint has been one of the major networks trying to produce mid-band. And then we have low band. The wavelength of this 5G is under 2 gigahertz. This is quite comparable to 4G. You aren't getting nearly the speeds that you get from mid-band or millimeter wavelength, but the distance covers a much greater area. You can cover most of the United States using low-band networks. The maximum theoretical speeds is about 100 megabytes per second, so that's still pretty good, but it's not nearly as good as the 5G speed. Some applications of 5G, now this is not as relevant to you guys because this is rather in general. It will allow for autonomous vehicles, advances in healthcare, better AR or video game, streaming, and enhancements. There's going to be better education usage, and AI will advance tremendously. We've already seen a major increase in artificial intelligence, and now this will help make it even better. Now, a question that a lot of people ask is 5G safe? There's been other people who have gone over this further, and I'll link some of those videos in the description, but the short answer is yes, it's safe. Millimeter wave doesn't penetrate the skin according to the studies. It does create a little bit more heat, but that will not get to a level that is past what the regulators in the United States must meet. So you should not be worried about health in 5G. Although I cannot say with certainty there are going to be no health impacts to us or maybe the animals around us. We just don't know for certain yet. Now, if you are from the US, I'm going to talk about your carriers and what they're doing with 5G and what's going to be the best right now. So Verizon, who I use, they're focused solely on millimeter wavelength. They have it in a lot of cities currently, but there are still the range limitations that we were talking about with the 800 feet range and being able to be blocked by buildings or other things. Their current network is ranging on like 28 to 39 gigahertz, so you're getting really quick speeds, and I've seen a lot of people posting about those. But it's still not nearly as mature as it can, and it's not near the theoretical speeds. AT&T. Now quickly I want to talk about 5GE. 5GE AT&T is not 5G. AT&T's marketing is so annoying. Their 5GE is just a rebranded 4G. It means nothing, and they have gotten into a little bit of trouble with it, but truthfully they should do more because it feels deceitful to the consumers. Nevertheless, AT&T is also more focused on millimeter wavelength, although I believe they are trying to widen their horizon. They have also been rolling it out to major cities. T-Mobile and Sprint now. Okay, these two merged and will probably have the most extensive 5G network in the US for some time. That's probably surprising for most people because Verizon and AT&T are the two largest ones. They have probably the most resources, and they are killing the millimeter wavelength right now. I know Verizon is doing really well at that. But Sprint and T-Mobile have a lot more of a diverse network. Sprint before the merger was focused on creating a mid-band network, and after T-Mobile acquired them, now T-Mobile gained that mid-band network. And in December, T-Mobile released a widespread low-band network that covered most of the US. In addition, they are also working on millimeter wave. So T-Mobile and Sprint could easily have the trifecta. Consumers from T-Mobile and Sprint will probably see the biggest advantage currently. Now, what are your consumer advantages and disadvantages of 5G? Well, the main thing being faster download speeds, allowing for better streaming from your mobile devices, quicker downloads of things like apps and TV shows, better gaming. You can do more streaming services with gaming like Google Stadia, and there'd be less latency. There's going to be more intensive AI within your devices, better machine learning, and overall you'll see better communicating with like social media. Everything's going to get a lot faster, and there's going to be more abilities to create new applications. Now, some of the downsides are the current range is not large enough. It costs more in most of the devices. It could also possibly lead to battery draining a little bit quicker, and if you're somebody who upgrades sooner, it doesn't make as much sense to get a 5G device. Now we'll go into this final point. Who should buy a 5G device in 2020? Well, as I told you, the Sprint and T-Mobile users, you're going to be seeing the biggest advantage currently. So for you guys, I think it'd be a pretty good idea. Now, people who are often in larger cities, maybe for work or something, could also benefit very much from it, even right now. People who upgrade less frequently. If you keep your device over 2 years, then it's a good idea to future-proof your device using this. Like even those people who don't believe they can currently take advantage of the benefits of 5G, future-proofing your device is always a great idea for longevity. And that's why I said in my iPhone 12 video that people should be excited for 5G in this new iPhone. Now, don't buy it if you're upgrading less than in 2 years, then maybe you won't see as much of the advantages. If you're in a more rural area, also don't buy a 5G device. If you're looking at any budget devices, don't pay extra for 5G. This is mostly pertaining like the flagships or the upper mid-range. And then if you use your phone only for like texting and calling, maybe a little bit of social media, then I also think you can't benefit as much from 5G. To those people, it probably isn't worth it. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer any of them in the comments section. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you all are doing well, and peace.